And I see, yeah, like so for cancers, Pluto is moving into their eighth house. So that definitely like change ups in sharing of resources possible.
Mm.
With cancer, there could be like I know you were saying there might be relationship stuff. You're looking at how you're going to share your resources and maybe merge them together and purging anything that does no longer serves. When Pluto moves into the eighth, sometimes you have to watch your health a little bit just because like it will literally like um purge your body stuff too because the eighth house is like um it's like it's just everything can kind of come up out of your body with Pluto in the eighth house, so purging, just know that like it's part of the whole process.
Mm.
um but Pluto will rebuild your wealth as well. So if you are looking to invest, it's almost like you have to start from scratch almost, but it's like you gotta figure out a new way to like start building the wealth. Any kind of like grants, loans, saved money that you have, things like that, you want to get those moving in some kind of different way, your money like working for you in a different way. um as far as so the eclipses are going to be the fourth house and the 10th house. So we're talking about we're talking about status, we're talking about family. So those two areas are maybe like leaving behind family traumas or family curses or just old ways you used to do things, like old traditions, and just kind of moving into new ways of doing things and taking over, and maybe um just doing it in a new way, like in fresh. Mercury is going to retrograde for cancers in the second house, so it's going to be your self-esteem, but also your the way you earn money. And at the end of the year, that's where Mars retrograde will be too, so you have to start looking at how you make your money and the actions that you're taking there, and maybe kind of like review that, how you're communicating that. Also to sixth house, again, your day-to-day life, your health, you want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, you're communicating anything that any kind of health issues that you have, you're communicating those well. And also the 10th house, Mercury will retrograde there, and that will be your status, how you are, cancers do tend to kind of close up. This is going to be really more about you kind of opening up and communicating what you need to communicate, coming out of the shell a little bit. When we look at money and prosperity of especially of the Jupiter Uranus combination, that happens in the 11th house. So when we talk about the 11th house, we do talk about friends and groups that you belong to, but also this can be gains from how you make your living. So, really looking at those things this year. How am I making my living? What are my gains? How can how can that work for me better? And then Jupiter is going to move into the eighth house. So that's going to be, good for connecting with spirit. Um, it's gonna be a good behind the scenes type of energy where maybe your subconscious is going to be a little bit more positive than it had been. You're gonna kind of be a little more hopeful in your thought processes.